Yeah, there's observations, seeing how you interact with the kids and stuff, but most of that is.
Because right now they pay
testing.
teachers. How do they pay teachers according? Like, how do you get?
I think publicly, I guess what you would say in charter schools too, there's a set pay rate or set salary for like first-time teachers, or depending on your title, long-term sub, there's different titles.
Yeah.
As you reach the next year, they take into account if you have a master's degree, a PhD, teaching credentials, any added thing, and then they give you more money based on that. After a certain point, it's how many more classes you take. So teachers always have to be going to school or taking some classes or some training. And so some of those count for higher salary.
Is there quality? Is there performance have any play in that equation of what money they make? As far as like what kind of grades they're turning out in their classes or like that kind of stuff?
I would say it depends on the school, because it could be a teacher's good at raising test scores, but I don't think that teacher's going to be the one that gets the salary. It might be the whole faculty from that school, because that school is the one getting the funding.
True.
Even though each public school, is different neighborhoods, different, but they're all public. Some schools still pay.
What if like they were paid like that only?
If they were paid how?
Performance based. Like if you're a crappy teacher, then you're not gonna you can't make a lot of money until you start. What if that was like that? What do you think of that? How do you think that would work out?
Yeah,
Just
I don't think that it should be linked to test scores at all, like the teacher's evaluation. Performance-based would be best, I would say, in what we have right now. In the system we have right now, I would like to see that.
Like a job, right? Like.
Are you doing your job well?
That's my job. Like, yeah, performance-based. Like, shit, if you don't perform well, based on certain criteria, you get a shitty raise.
What was the original question going around the group?
About school.
Oh, just about school.
What was your school experience?
We're still on mine right now.
That's good though. I wanted to know that.
No, that's actually that's very cool, because that's what I wanted to actually know, because like my complaint was teachers. Like I don't know how many bad teachers I've had where I'm just like freaking I just want to go to sleep, or like I have to go to that class high so I can laugh at them and still learn. Like it was dumb,
Drugs in school, dude.
What? In college, yeah.
As an adult?
Not actually high school. No, I didn't touch anything. Like I said, I was a big old high school person. I did everything. I didn't touch alcohol until I was 19, 20.
I did. I'm just kidding.
And who's the devil, huh? No, just kidding. All right, Adriana.
How's your school experience?
School experience.
My school experience, how was it?
Yeah, what'd you get out of it?
And how would...
We're on education. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
My school experience was, I don't know, I went to, I saw the transition, going to school, over in South Central, and then moving to Downey in 4th grade. I completely saw the change in education, what was kind of happening, seeing, and then, the resources that Downey had, too. It was just what the fuck? You guys have all this shit? Yeah, and, so, it's seeing that, in the span of elementary school, I just saw how, certain things happen. And then, also, seeing what happened between my sister and myself. I tested pretty well. So, I got in, the higher things. But my sister, she didn't do too well. She had, dyslexia. And then they just tracked her, the rest of her thing. And, she got better at her skills because she dealt with her dyslexia. But they just assumed that she was, so they tracked her and they didn't give her the opportunity for growth. So, the school system did me well. I benefited from it, but, only because I got lucky. That's really what it is. It's just about getting lucky with your education system. And so that's why it really has to go back to your parents. Because, I think that was my best teacher was my mom. I get to college and we're reading about, the people's history. And they're talking about, how Columbus murdered thousands of Native Americans and how we shouldn't be celebrating Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And a lot of people in my class were what the fuck? And no, at 5 years old, I was my mom's telling me, she's do you know what they did to them? This is why we don't celebrate it, Or not even saying the Pledge of Allegiance. She's are you really gonna say that your country is better than the rest of them? And that's something that school is
mandatory.
It's mandatory. They started off our city council meetings, all of that kind of stuff. But like my mom educated me. She told me question it. Like she was my number one teacher, and like that's who should be your teachers of your children. Yourself and the people you surround yourself with.
Definitely. Try it.
That was awesome.
It was. I think mine was kind of like Fonso's, I think. I mean, I liked school, but because it was my escape from home kind of thing. And I really took advantage of that escape. Like, I went to drama, speech. I did everything that I could get my hands on. And that was because it kept me away. Not so much because I was learning, because I can't say 100% that I, took advantage of my schooling part of it, but I definitely, out of the fun stuff that we no longer tend to have in our school systems, it kind of sucks because the things that I was advantaged, like you say, like cooking, they're not going to get to do anymore. And it's just like, to me, what was good for my school, like when I went to school, is not going to be there anymore for my children. Because this is why I look forward to going to school. Because I was able to get into these clubs, into these organizations, all these other stuff, and they're not going to have it. They're losing it. So to them, it's like a hassle going to school kind of thing. I don't know. That's just the way that I see it. We're losing so much. Like she was saying, like we're learning like about facts. We're not learning about living and being able to take care of ourselves and provide for ourselves. Like a lot of our people, our day and age, unfortunately, don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't. They don't know what hard work is. They don't know that to be able to work is to be able to survive. And they don't see that. So it's just, I don't know, we're losing our school systems. And we have a lot of good teachers, but there were very few in a bunch. Very, very few. Like Fons said, a couple of them like really, really like, tutored us, mentored us, made sure that we survived throughout our school time. It's tough. As a teenager, it's very, very tough. So it's not going to be something good anymore. And I fear for my children for that.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it kind of changes.
Hopefully we could change it. We'll be that change.
Yeah.
Because we see what it's becoming.
Most definitely. So much more information now.
Yeah.
Be really responsible not to use it.
Exactly.
Just stop looking at memes.
Delicious for your eyes.
How about you, Steph? What was your...
It was good. I was probably just like you.
Yeah.
I was a straight A student, joined all the
You were
clubs.
Nah, I gotta see one
You're a
time actually.
No, that's awesome.
There were a few times, but
That's good though. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Love it.
And I think that's because I knew how to do it. I knew which classes were important and which ones I could stack off on, which is a skill itself, trying to figure that out in a school, especially where there's a lot more people and a lot more people you have to answer to. But I think I was lucky that I had my uncle who kind of gave me that direction. When I'd be stressing out about a class, he'd be like, "Why?
That's cool.
Like, what for?" So, and he's like, "It's important that you get to where you want to get to, but don't stress out on
That's
the way."
awesome.
So I have that too, but my schooling, I wouldn't say is what I would want for the future, or for what I wanted for myself too. Like I did well at it. I studied. I passed my classes. I joined the clubs. I did everything I could to get to college. But I didn't learn anything that I probably still remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What I did learn was what wasn't the objective or the lesson.
Oh,
probably.
And
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's where you have to start changing things. And it all goes back to little things like the standards and the government. But
And the government. Damn
the
you!
government sets the standards.
Yeah.
And you gotta meet those standards or you're not gonna get the federal funding, you're not gonna get the state funding.
It's true.
And you want more money, there's more standards that you gotta follow, which leaves less freedom for teachers to teach what they want.
Mhm.
You know, now preschoolers have standards.
Yes.
Your preschool's just supposed to be playing at fun time. You learn to make friends. You
You
learn
gotta
to
be able to build a
Yeah.
hold
robot
pencil
and
and
Legos
crayon.
by the end of this class.
But now with standards, you know, if kindergartner has to count to 100. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
Count to
why?
100 in first or
I'm
second
like, how
grade,
far can you
doesn't
throw this
matter.
mud?
Yeah, I think that's a great one.
Yeah.
You're in. Get in. Get in.
Mud tossing.
Yeah.
That's
Get
it.
in here.
That's how you keep him in shape. Be like, I bet you can't run around this whole thing in a minute. Yeah, I can.
Ready? Ready. He's ready. Stamp him.